I'm back up on the scene again with another reaction for you guys. Sorry I haven't been reacting. I mean, not reacting, but I haven't been uploading or nothing like that for a little minute. Been doing a couple personal things, so now I'm back at it again. I know y'all like the Snapchat scary stories from MR.NIGHTMARE. So now we got another video from him. He just uploaded a couple days ago. It's 3 disturbing true horror stories. So now instead of it just being about just strictly about Snapchat with scary stories, now we got just regular, scary stories. So links will be in the description down below for like his channel, the original video, all of that good jazz. So let's get right into this. All right, and play. Let's see, this one's gonna be as good as the snaps. Let's see.
My friend Brian and I used to be big on urban exploration, especially in the dark. About a half-hour drive away from our houses is an old hospital/asylum that's been abandoned for decades.
Nah, see, no.
It hasn't been torn down
No.
because it's in a really secluded location and it would just cost too much money. Brian and I wanted to bring a Ouija board along with us and explore it one Thursday night. Pulling into the unlit parking lot and seeing the massive structure standing tall in the night, even we were having second thoughts.
Like, of course you would.
Gangs were known to hide out in this
would you
building,
be,
or at least that's been rumored. Surprisingly, there didn't seem to be any security patrolling the perimeter, so the process of getting in was pretty easy. We found a broken window that seemed to have been made into a common entryway by other urban explorers and delinquents.
I just don't get
Brian
it.
and I have
It's
a lot
like,
of experience exploring abandoned structures at night,
but
and
let's
admittedly
keep going.
even
Let's
we
not
were creeped
run,
out by
let's
this
keep
building.
going towards it.
We made our way to the highest floor and did a little exploring up there. There were so many holes in the floor that our confidence in the structure holding our weight was low. The floors were creaky and soft in certain spots, and there were rooms that led into dark nothingness. Every time I'd shine my light down into one of them, I'd have the haunting thought of someone or something being inside one of them. We found a good spot to set up the Ouija board and candles. Yeah, we went all out with this.
Oh man.
When the candles were lit, Brian and I placed our hands on the planchette and began our attempt at communicating with some kind of spirits.
I see me.
We weren't really the type to joke around with it, so we weren't pushing it around ourselves just to mess with each other. However, the planchette didn't move the whole time. Maybe that was because our Ouija board session was interrupted when we heard a creaking noise coming from inside one of the dark open rooms nearby. It wasn't just a fluke noise. It was a steady, consistent creaking, once every 1 or 2 seconds.
Bro.
Brian and I quietly packed up our stuff, and he whispered to me to go shine the light inside of the room. I whispered he's got to be crazy.
Right, like why would you do that?
There.
Just get the fuck out.
Brian
like,
whispered, forget it, I'll do it. I whispered no, but he either ignored me or didn't hear me. He tiptoed over to the doorway, which was pointless given that he'd be shining a light into the room. However, he never even turned that light on, because before he could, a distinct, quiet, short yet sharp laughing or cackling could be heard coming from inside the room. It sounded like an older woman's cackle. It was the most disturbing moment of my life.
Oh, sir. Oh,
Brian
man.
screamed run, and we both ran down the 10 flights of stairs and back out the window we climbed in through. We continued running all the way back to my car and drove out of the woodsy property. We swore to never go back there, and we haven't. The thing that sucks is that we usually recorded our visits to places like this, and one of the few times we didn't, the most disturbing moment of my life took place.
See, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's no way that you're gonna go to an asylum, hospital that's abandoned, and you don't think you're gonna see something. Like, it's just stuff like this. It's just like, it's like
it happened one night
just
when my parents and I were hearing noises coming from outside of our farmhouse. The best way I could describe the noises were various types of cracking and thud sounds. My dad and I met in the living room to discuss what we should do, because we were positive that there must have been people out there stealing our produce.
Damn.
My dad ran to his gun closet and drew his shotgun.
Oh.
And together we stormed outside into the night, turning on all of the lights mounted on the outside walls of the house. My dad apparently saw somebody because he started yelling stop as he ran to the crops.
Oh.
I followed him, and I too started to spot legs running underneath the crops.
Really?
The legs of 2 or more people. My dad called at me to keep up with him as he chased down the thieves in the dark, approaching the woods. After running about 50 feet into the woods, my dad stopped and reached out his arm to signal for me to stop as well. As I was choking for air while out of breath,
The fuck?
I watched my dad as he stood in place, looking around us. I swear we were standing still for like 30 seconds in silence. I didn't have the energy to ask what he was doing.
Okay, yeah,
But
that's what I'm
eventually I caught on. I saw what my dad was looking at. There was a person standing about 10 feet away from us, but all I could see was his face, since he was mostly covered by a bush.
Oh,
The sound of an
man.
October leaf crunching nearby revealed there to be another person standing only 10 feet away. As my dad and I looked around more carefully, we realized there were more than just 2 guys watching us.
Oh, they got
There were
surrounded.
7 or 8 or 9 or even more.
Oh, man.
My dad slowly
Oh.
looked back at me, and then back at the person closest to him. What made the scene so much more disturbing, we could only see the people's faces, which were partially illuminated by the moonlight.
Oh, man.
My dad took a few steps back and broke the silence by saying, "We're leaving."
Huh.
We both started walking backwards,
Yeah, okay.
noticing the people were inching closer at the same time.
Right, you think they're not gonna come and get you guys?
My dad waved the shotgun around to let them all know he was armed. When we made it
Appreciate
past
I
the
don't
tree
care.
line and back onto the property, we sprinted back to the house. I'd never seen my old man run so fast in his life. He slammed the door behind him and watched the windows with the gun still in his hand, while I called the sheriff's office. The cops took a while to respond, about 15 minutes, and the 2
Okay.
officers that showed up were very unhelpful. They only asked questions and took down notes. They didn't actually go
Right.
looking for the group we encountered.
That's
The cops left within 10
what?
minutes,
Are you
but it ultimately didn't matter, because by the next day, nothing happened. So we assumed it was over, and it was. There was never any follow-up to this.
That's so okay. So you go into these crops, and like what? Like, are you
A friend and I
serious?
were on a
I'm
road
gonna
trip
talk
from
about that
South
towards the end,
Carolina
like,
to
talk about that
Jersey,
towards
where
the
we'd
end
be
of the
meeting with a bunch of friends. We left late in the day to avoid traffic. We were somewhere in Maryland when my friend had to get off the highway to find the nearest bathroom. I don't mean to piss. I mean he had the runs all of a sudden and needed to go really
Ew,
badly.
that's disgusting.
We were driving around some desolate town looking for a place for him to go. There was practically no traffic and all the store lights were off. The place was a ghost town.
Obviously,
The
for
further
a
from the
reason,
highway
a
we
very
got,
good
the
reason,
quieter
but, you know,
and creepier the surroundings got
whatever.
as well.
Let's just go to it.
Eventually, we came across a small 24-hour ghetto-looking Dunkin' Donuts. It was an outlet, though, so we had to pull around the strip to a basically hidden parking lot around back. There was not a single other car in the lot.
See, like
It was
stuff
so
like
hidden that
this,
nobody would ever
no,
find it unless they were
no,
looking for it.
Get out, get out. No.
We knew we were in a
something's
sketchy area, so
Right.
I begged him to just hurry back. He said he'd be back in no less than half an hour, as he cracked a smile, reminding me of his annoying humor. He ran off around the
don't get
building
it.
as I sat in the car, windows rolled up and doors locked. A pretty bad motion sickness was still wearing off, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to step outside for half a minute just to get some fresh
Oh,
air.
man.
As I stood outside in that lot, I was constantly examining my surroundings. It took me a while to take notice to somebody standing all the way down at the far side of the parking lot. Now, it was dark, but I could still tell they were facing the direction of the car.
Oh my God.
In direct response
Oh my
to that, I
goodness.
got back in
Oh
the
my
car
goodness.
and locked the door once again.
Oh, man.
I guess that was a bad move, because the person at the end of the lot started slowly yet menacingly approaching the car. Maybe whoever that person was saw my reaction as cowardice, and therefore saw me as an easy target.
Of course.
Either way, I texted my friend to come back right away since he had the keys and explained why. The person was getting closer,
Damn.
slowly but surely.
Oh.
I desperately stared at the screen, awaiting my friend's response,
Oh,
just
look
like a
at
guy
that.
awaiting a response from his crush.
Oh,
By the time my
look at
friend
it.
answered the
He's
text, he said,
walking. Oh my
"Wait, for
God.
real?"
Oh, man.
I replied yes within the same 2 seconds. He answered back with, Shit, laughing my ass off. Alright, be right out.
Oh, shit.
I texted back, this is serious, dude. The person was a couple 100 feet away at this point.
Oh, man.
He was so close that I was about to get out of the car and run. My friend came running around the building just in time. He spotted the guy right away and hopped in the car. We took off with only seconds to spare. We stopped a couple blocks down the road to catch our breath and discuss.
Oh, man.
My heart was still racing and I was still in panic mode. Meanwhile, my friends started to find it more and more hilarious.
Crazy.
Eventually, far enough into the ride, I was able to laugh about it.
What type of friend are you,
But still,
like, I don't
it was
get
scary
fam.
and
Like,
still is scary to think about what would have happened if
That's
that person
funny
made it
that
to
you
the
almost
car.
got killed, you and your friend?
Maybe nothing.
Really?
Maybe he just wanted change.
I
Or
doubt it.
maybe a lot worse.
Doubt he wanted just change. He wanted your head. That's what he wanted. That's exactly what he wanted. That's crazy though, man. But yeah, that's the end of the video right there. That's let's just do a little bit of some recapping. Alright. Okay. The first story, that's just basically just being stupid off rip, because like the dude said that it was an asylum / hospital and it was abandoned for years. So like, you know, of course some people or something or whatever might be still in there, but you know, their curiosity, you know, with their Ouija board and candles, they want to go into like a room and just try to see if they can get, like, the question is, with stuff like that, it's like, just why do you even put yourself in this situation? Like I've been watching this guy's channel for a minute, and it's just like certain stories, it's like they put them, most of the time, like 95% of the time, they put themselves in that situation. Like that with the asylum and the hospital, like that's stupid. The second story is kind of a little bit more understandable. Like, you know what I'm saying, you got crops, you living in like this farm-like area and all that, that's y'all produce, that's how y'all, you know, your family probably makes money and stuff like that. One night, all of a sudden, you probably just hearing, you seeing something, the tall crops, and you know, you went after him, and then it just luckily that your dad just stopped and noticed it just with faces. There weren't only just the two of them that y'all seen. It was actually, they ran back to their crew, and there's like 7 more of them. And the other good thing is that luckily, after y'all running back to the house, and they really didn't chase y'all like that, then the sheriff was able to get there enough time, even though they weren't enough help or even no help at all. But yeah, so, and then the third story, that they put, it's like the first story, like I said, like the first story, they put down themselves by actually going to, you know, the abandoned place they knew was abandoned and things like that. This one here, they put that on themselves as well, because like, yeah, you gotta go, doesn't matter where you gotta go, but still, it's like, in situations like that, yeah, I'd rather kind of hold it, you know what I'm saying, get to some actual civilization than like, you know, abandoned ghost town. And like you said, like all of a sudden the dude just, cause I had noticed something walking towards the, you know, the screen, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh. So it's like, you know, like, you talking about probably he asking for change in an abandoned place. Like, where you gonna do what you do with change? It's not, he wanted to murder you dudes, and then your friend wanted to laugh. But you know, that's crazy, man. But at the end of this, man, like I said, that's gonna be the end of the video, man. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. Like I said, it was 3 disturbing true horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Links will be in the description down below. But y'all boys stay incognito, man. And make sure that your friends out here